Morning, everybody. I just wanted to do a quick video on used Honda Snowblowers. I actually bought my buddy last night. We went on Craigslist. They were asking $1,200. I got $420 off, so he paid $780 on a Honda 928. It's not here, but I just wanted to go over some things I looked on with him. I actually drove to the place from Craigslist. It's just a buddy of mine. He wanted one of these, and he got the wheeled one instead of the tracks. I'll just show you what I came up with and stuff, and just from reading the manuals and stuff, and point out the things from my snowblower. So when I went there, I noticed the auger blades were completely worn. You can see mine are still good. You can see the teeth and everything. See the teeth? I actually painted them, but the teeth are what cuts the ice and everything. These are a piece. They're like $250, so $500 altogether. Two sides. So I just saw that and I'm like, it's kind of, he didn't even know about it, the seller. It was his own. So I also looked at the augers too. I kind of went like this, and it was very loose, and I noticed that the shear pin was broken. That was another thing. So I told him that all he had to do was tighten. There was a bolt missing on the back, but there's shear pins that it's supposed to wiggle a little bit, but not like crazy, and it was just spinning kind of. Same with this side. I just checked that. This is like a perfect example of what you should look for. The skid plate was completely worn down too. Those are like probably like 30-40 bucks, so I just told my buddy probably replace it. And I checked the bottom of the auger housing, and that was okay, which is a lot of people have those issues. They actually put a backup skid on mine, but this is the Honda HS 1332, and you can see it has a skid here too as a backup, but I checked that. After I looked at that, I checked if there was any cracks, you know, like with the auger or anything. It would seem fine. Kind of spun this freely just to see if it spun, and that's a good sign. There's a shear pin here. Just check those, the shear pins and everything. I checked that out, looked good. There's rust here, but that's known for, you know, a little bit of surface rust and rust in the housing. But I touched mine up with the Honda rail paint. The shoe was rusted too as well, but that's no problem. You can touch that up. I checked the tires. He actually had brand new tires. I'll just go on my errands. The sidewalls looked okay. Rim looked good. Everything looked good. It was still holding air, so I just said that's good to go. I checked the dipstick. There's one here. I made sure there was on both sides, but this one I just checked a little bit. He hasn't changed his oil in a while, but it was full, but it was kind of dark, so I said to my buddy, just change it. You can see I changed mine, but it's still in good shape. So I checked that. Didn't have an electric start like mine. Mine has an electric start. I checked the joystick, you know, the flange. It seemed okay, so I kind of just moved it around just to see. I also used this, the stick rotator, just to see if it rotated, and it was fine. It didn't have a light, so that was another thing you're gonna have to check. I checked the hydrostatic fluid too. On his, it was fine. I mean, there was hydrostatic fluid inside. As long as it's not bone dry, you're good. There's a level to check on your manual with that, but that was another thing I checked on it. And I told my buddy, what you can do is take that serial number at the bottom and call Honda. That's the only way to figure out the year of the Honda. Give them a call, and they'll tell you what year this is. This is the 2013. I called them already. He had the engage and disengage too. His wasn't tracked. His was wheeled, but we still got a really good deal for $780 for his Honda, which is a killer deal. He was asking first $1,200, which is crazy. I checked the joystick too, made sure it went freely. That's another thing to check. And the choke was actually up here, so it's choke, then fast and slow. It's different than the Honda HS 1332. That was the HS 928. But yeah, even when he went from fast to slow, it was fine. And then he went to fast. Everything sounded fine. It wasn't sputtering or anything. You would know like the carb issue or something. So that was another thing I checked. I also checked the gas. Went inside just to look at it. It looked okay. Nothing like crazy. Didn't smell funky or anything. No water inside. So I asked them, asked the guy too, if he stored it inside. How do you store it? If it leaks or whatnot. He said everything was fine. So we even checked the air filter too. Nothing inside or anything. So that was good news. Yeah, so I just wanted to, I wish I knew about this earlier when I was buying Hondas, and hopefully this helps the guide. Yeah, look for the bar shoe too when you're buying these Hondas. But yeah, definitely the blades are a thing to check. Those are worn out all the time with these Hondas. So check that out. And the auger housing, those are expensive. You don't want to be buying a new auger housing. Could be all the way rusted through and stuff. We actually brought the housing up, checked underside, and it was pretty smooth, so it's a good sign. But yeah, the tracks too. If you're buying tracks, make sure they look good. The deflection's still good and everything. Make sure the reverse and forward work, you know, with the hydrostatic fluid. These are tanks, and I just don't want anybody being ripped off.